Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing look at Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice 10.41. Now, if you watched to the end of the last episode, you know we had a bit of a crash at the end of it. So we're back a few days. Nothing terribly important has changed. The one thing that is a little aggravating, if you will, is that some of the events that either just fired or would be firing this month won't because of that, but oh well. Okay, we won the battle here again. Okay, now you guys immediately jump into that battle so that we continue to push on these guys. Just get these guys down to retreat and break, and they can't retreat anywhere. I think they disappear. Portugal, okay, whatever. You keep moving to there. Yeah, you keep moving. Let's see how Martinique is going to do. I think, oh, right there. Okay. Yeah, good. Got a lot of stuff deployed. Right, okay. You get on board one of these group of ships and go up to there. Uh-oh. Nope, none of them left. Okay, let's take a look at... Do we have? No, we don't have. Maybe Italy has? I don't know. Lots of battles have been... convoys. Somebody has some convoys out there that were friendly that have been... Just quickly, yeah, nothing that we're doing. Should have showed up on the... No, I don't want that. I want that. Okay, yeah, you keep repairing. Wood. We've captured all the way up to here. You come back to there. Again, we're trying to do this as gently as possible. We want as much of... Well, this is where we had the crash. So what we're going to do is... let's just save this. See if it's the event decision thingy. No, it was me going and doing the looking for the officers that crashed it last time. There we go. No, we were on. It's Pfeffer or something like that. No, we're not on name. There we go. Now we're on name. Okay. I think that's his name. Not that one. Not Phelps. Okay, maybe it's... Was he somehow maybe still commanding some sort of... No, transport unit. Or maybe it's Vaughn. Probably Vaughn. There, Vaughn. there he is, yeah. Pfeffer Waldenbach. He was on again, off again, commanding the Polizei division. Don't know, maybe he had a bunch of people to go liquidate or something. Yeah, you come here. You're going to become the HQ for all these light infantry units and maybe the temporarily at least the armor down there. Okay, advanced armor designs, very good. We now have, instead of just armor designs, we have advanced armor designs. 43, but that allows us to do sloped armor. So we are going to, yeah, we're going to shift this over to sloped armor, but we want to get back to even more advanced. But yeah, that will be good for a lot of units. Oh, come on, get in there and cap it. Come on, you almost got it. Organization going down, going down. Tehran, yes, okay, now go in and cap Tehran. Tibet is mobilizing, are they? They're not in a faction now. Alright, okay. Right, okay, I think our headquarters are probably back here. Right, and it was the, yes, 19th Jaeger Division that needed a HQ to get it the combined arms bonus. Back again. Okay, so now we're back again to this. Right, well, either there's been a lot of sinkings, which very well could be, or Britain has moved its naval forces out of here. I don't know, but we're going to start. These guys make it there. No, so they're going to have to come down to here. Rebase to there. Now I move some more air trend. Okay, naval strike stop. Naval strike stop. They're overbased. So, okay, are there 0 units based up there? So you go up to there. You're already overbased. These guys come up there. Repair here. Let's look here, see if there's they're shifting base. They're shifting base mainly, I think, because they weren't getting any repairs and kept operating. Okay, but here we have actually Hans Kalmer is temporarily in command of it. We're going to put these over here. Now, will that allow this? It will allow this unit to also get on board. Okay, so now we have 4 airborne divisions. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use them. I'm definitely going to save before I use them. I think right now if I were to just drop these guys, they would die. But they might be useful for that last little push in if, you know, if the others are failing necessarily, but if it's getting sort of close or something that, actually I want you to rebase to there, at least temporarily. Airbase blueprints advance. And these basically, all of these things are those events that get you random big air bases in your territories, is my understanding. Is what those are. Okay, well, we're going to come back to advanced armored designs and push on that as well as everything else. Okay, you're coming that way. Good. Keep winning the Battle of Tehran because they keep falling back units into there. I want them to fall back somewhere else. We're going to take Tehran again, least damage possible. Jaeger division shattered in Sana'a down here. Okay, you're going to go and on. Okay, well, they've got that province back. Damn, shattered there. I think they'll be okay. Okay, this unit here, I guess, is going to head this way. And we'll also move this sort of broken Jaeger unit down that way too. At least get them down here so we can just deploy. Now he's going to come down to here, I guess. Ready to operate out there somewhere. I know I could move him here and I thought of it, but oh no, that ain't gonna work. It'll take too long to get there. No supplies. Let's look at the supply map here. Well, there's more supplies here. Let's operate rebase to there. Now they have full supplies. They'll come a lot faster. Jungle unit training. Okay, well, we're not done in the jungles as fast as I had thought or hoped. So we're going to shift this. We're still sort of heading in that direction, but I think we could do some of that stuff more usefully, getting ready for Barbarossa now. Oh, come on. Okay, we're going to be there on February 12th, so 3 days. Hopefully that means 3 days and we win here in Iran. Right, okay, well, we have these guys down here now. So they get to just come out there and sit on with the submarines. Oh, pause. Okay, medium artillery brigades have advanced. That would be here, and it's grayed out. Right, good. We'll do that. Okay, our forces are under attack. Well, whoop-de-doo. I think we've already won. Okay, that's going well. They're heading out to here, which I think is a victory. X, yeah. The more of those we get, the faster that ends. Right, okay. Okay, well, the Deutschland is up to 230%. I know, obviously, things really can't be more than 100, but yeah, whatever. And everything else seems to be looking good enough. So that's, I think, good enough to go in and risk it again. So, I don't know if loading order matters for exiting order, as in who goes into the meat grinder first. Oh, let's attach you to there. You on board. This is not entirely random, but it's not entirely well organized either. I don't think I don't know how much I could figure it out by looking at transportation levels and all this stuff, but I'm just going to go with this, even though I might be able to fit another few divisions on here. One more is left. No, because I just in case we start losing some landing craft, maybe we'll still have carrying capacity. Okay, so yeah, they're still naval striking down here. Well, they don't seem to be very strong in naval, so let's do this thing. Malta again, invasion. Okay, winning in Tehran again. Battle of Bashir, we're good. Oh, we're on ashore. Air launch torpedoes, very good. Nav C attack plus 3.6, which is a total for all air launches, not just a new 3.6, but flying boat attack plus 3.6 and 6 and CAD, which we don't have any, 2.4, but still. No, we don't have any. It is still useful. Yeah, okay, it's grayed out and it'll be a long time before I really go for a let's move down here and get artillery morale. More of that research. Okay, well that's fine. I don't care. I'm gonna break the agreement. Fine with me. Okay, they're going down. Organization, they're probably okay. Structural improvements to landing ships. So right, well, swell. Okay, they need to be attacked. Getting an HQ coming, guys. Yeah, you'll get commanding officers. You like commanding officers, trust me. Okay, we just captured their capital. Don't know where they moved their capital to. Maybe down here. Normally do a place of the victory. Points. I think. Well, or maybe it's scripted, I don't know. Alright, okay. They're going to all start starving of supplies, and this guy's going to move up here and deal with them to keep him from getting to starving of supplies, so I think that'll be okay. Bet you these guys were stationed over in Tehran and are now bugging out going somewhere else. Okay, tank destroyer advance. Nice. We don't use too many of those so far, but good. Ground attack focus. I'm guessing it's here. Guess we'll let that continue. Aviation search radar. Is that over here? No, that's here. We'll stop that for now. Oh, detection, visibility, sub-detection, sub-defense, surface detection. I don't know. Well, let's just continue to get ready for Barbarossa type things. Yeah, infantry combined arms, that would be nice. Oh, what are we still doing? Oh, artillery brigades. Yeah, okay, stop that. Air defense network. Biggest problem I'm having is manpower with trying to do that, and we need to get more manpower coming in. But we don't want to lose more manpower going out. Or something. Yeah, we're doing a lot of naval strike tactics, so we'll do that. Well, we have a little bit more, so we'll do nav tactics. There we go. One more armored division is here. Great. You come this way, I think. And you guys get on a boat. And the boat should come... Well, let's look at revolt risk here. Most of the key areas are green. We're going to have problems down here, maybe. So let's... no, I'll get on board ship. Let's have the ships come down here. Now these guys... Okay, well... well, let's find a commander for this guy. Back to skill. Skill is not overly important, but something like that. War Merit Cross is a key thing. You see supply consumption down by 5%. So we're going to give him a bit of a... it's too far away, so I don't know if we're going to bother with attaching him to higher command, but that would be nice. Least, okay, we'll attach him there, and there we go. So now we have an overall commander here. And you guys come up this way to there. The tropical island garrisons that we will use to better protect from invasion and whatnot. So, okay, it looks like either their fleet sunk or it was smart and left the area as being not the winning position to keep. Okay, they made it to there. Wow. How many victory points do we have to get in Iran for them to... Okay, this is one victory point, two. Okay, two for there, so that's 4, 5. This should get us 6. 6. I figure 6 should win, but I don't know. Okay, yeah, they're under attack. Landing craft flotillas have advanced. Goody. We're going to keep just that range could be really, and transport capacity, but that range could be really useful. Don't know if it upgrades or not. Units that are, you know, just sitting around in port, but could be potentially really useful for going after some place like Gibraltar. That increased range would be wonderful, necessary for getting there, not just winning, but getting there. Okay, radar advanced. For the moment, let's do that. What was it under secret radar guided bomb? Well, that's way too early to do that. Armored car designs, lovely. Okay, grayed out. Radar for capital ships, very good. So we will stop that and then come down here. Is it here? Yes. Damage control, capital ships, air detection, surface detection, night attack. We'll do that first, and we still have a little bit more, so let's protect and do damage control as well for capital ships. Okay, our Mediterranean Sea operations still going well. Okay, metallurgy, armor metallurgy. One and done. Okay, good. See, defensiveness and toughness for a lot of units. Airborne unit training. Again, airborne unit is critical because if we were to drop it onto, say, Malta, and there's nowhere for them to retreat, they might retreat back onto something like a transport that's sitting next to them, and they would definitely, if you dropped them on a unit, you know, that had a, you know, oh, you could be, well, I don't know where you should be going right now. Tank destroyers. Well, yeah, I think we're going to catch you up to the rest of the Africa Corps and maybe integrate you into something. We'll see if that can happen. But, you know, so if we were to, you know, we can, if we dropped on here, but we controlled here as well, they'd be able to retreat out. What the hell are you doing that for? Okay. Okay, so yeah, airborne unit training is critical. Assault concentration advance. Is that here? And we'll let that continue. So yeah, with some units is just more critical than others. Having some of these done. Fighter pilot training, we're way behind on that. That would be useful. Yeah, no, keep coming back here. Come on. Get these places secure. Okay, oh good. Manpower plus 49%. I mean, it's not a new 49%, but it's jumped up. And so that's too far in advance to push. That'll still help a lot with manpower. Yeah, we could start doing these for better research efficiency. Let's get that going. And destroyer classes have advanced. Very good. That gets us also more research. I know we could maybe do, but we're also going to come over here and do this to just push that more research efficiency. When is Rommel going to get there? Rommel's going to get there on the 19th in just a moment or two. But you're under attack. you come back to that way to secure our supply lines in the rear there. My God, we've gotten all of these things. Okay, well, because I think there's just one down here. Go. That looks faster, so yeah, you keep going. You hold that. Oh, there we go. There we go. Puppeted Iran. Very good. That's what we wanted to do. Restart. Oh, fuel. Okay. Well, those are weird sort of bug thingies. Right. Well, okay. So now we have all of these Iranian forces, however much intact they are. You can see some might be a bit not so intact. But yeah, that is good. That gets us an Axis Iran that will allow us to deal with the Soviet Union. Now, what is the current status of Iran deployment? Okay, they're a truce with us, or Axis. Okay, we're not going to call them to arms right now. And what I would like to do is, if I, air base is installed, do a little better is maybe do an air jump into here. That way we don't have to have Iran in the war. But we'll see about that. Well, in Malta, okay, this is going so much better now. Oh, they just lost a bunch of subs. Good. Pause. Okay, self-propelled AA, which allows construction of that, and I believe that is a one and done. Yes. Okay, airborne mix support we are still doing. Urban assault weapons level 3. Well, we're researching assault weapons, so that will get us urban fighting. Yes, of course, we've won that again and again, because that's really just sort of a probing attack. Okay, you come up to here. Let's look at our ugly, but well displayed map of rain. To be ready to go in. The Soviet Union from the south. This is going to make them freak out and put a lot of forces here. Now we may even, I know I've been rushing to get this, I know it's only February, but we're getting closer and closer. We may even start Operation Barbarossa and get it going and not have Iran in the Axis and not try to attack into here at all, so that they move a lot of forces, start moving them up here. But I do want my forces in the area. Start moving the forces away from here to deal with, oh shit, we're being invaded, and then invade, and then have them start moving their forces back, march, counter march, chaos kind of thing is what we're looking to achieve with that. So some more organization will need to be done. Yeah, like you, no longer attached to there. We'll find new HQs for you, but let's continue looking at, well, let's save this just in case. Good. Snowfall ends. Well, February's way too early to go after the Soviet Union. Malta Reserve is about ready to collapse, and we'll be facing just Malta Garrison. Industrial production is advanced. Very good. Panzer Grenadier Division and some other forces. Very good. All right. Oh, Finland can no longer at the moment. They're still around, are they not? Yeah. We get Saudi Arabia in. Okay, single engine armament research has advanced. There, okay. That will, okay, right, we sort of shift that. Okay, industrial production, very good. And so got those coming. These guys are so handy for moving supplies at critical moments. And I do want to just save this one more time. No, Saudi Arabia. Let's make sure we are on that. Invite to faction, very likely. Very good. Now we have Saudi Arabia in our faction, which I'm going to mostly just try to keep them in peace, because what good are they? It's just nice to sort of have them here. I guess I could try to invade and puppet them, but yeah, I prefer this. And just to have them sort of hanging out around here is a useful allied situation. Okay, the Dubai garrison. We're under attack here, fine. Okay, now you counterattack it to there so that they collapse. Where's their victory point? Appear at their capital. Okay, I think we just keep pushing towards their capital. Industrial efficiency, which reduces our IC but increases our efficiency, balancing out some of that others for an overall benefit. Right, okay. Okay. We're going to even want a bigger Luftwaffe, I think. Yep, we're going to want more of these, I think. Try to make them just good enough that these might be able to defend themselves against something of an attack. In places, you know, like guarding these ports and whatnot. Sort of like what we're... Oh, looks like we've taken down the one, and so now just going against the one that's remaining. Welded plate armor construction, very good, is advanced. Now let's attack here. Let's see, yeah, they don't have any supplies, so they're just going to collapse. Good. That's sort of what's going to be happening up here, I think, as well. Electro boat advance. Okay, so we are developing advanced submarines. That will allow us to now start doing the construction of electro boats, which are very fancy submarine types. And we'll probably, once we get this, all new construction will be at least those for, instead of, unless they're super expensive or something, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good to just build some regular ones still, if they're cheaper or whatnot, I don't know. And what just happened? Oh, partisan suppression. Well, that's good. I'll let that continue. Well, what just came? Oh, we got a Panther Infamy divisions. Okay. I think we're going to build another one of these rather good armored divisions. So, armored division with a mechanized infantry brigade in support, or not brigade, but battalion in support with armored cars, half track, so it's good against in the mud. 2 more slots. Armored engineers or Now we're going to go with self-propelled artillery, so it's fast, and I guess armored support. That'll make up for some of this stuff. There we go. I know, yeah, it's 34 ICs, but hey, once we get it, it'll be a spectacular unit. Iran is mobilizing, Saudi Arabia mobilizing. Well, good for you guys. Have fun with your mobilization. Okay, these guys are here now. Very good. Well, there's something out here, I guess, that just wrecked these guys. Let's see what it is. No, let's not. Okay. We'll once the Malta operation is over, we'll get some. Because we probably don't need so much of the air now, but might as well since it's all there. We'll get some of the air to do stuff. Okay. Will you come over to here? You're going to convoy raid and you're going to do it passively. Get out into the... You're going to come to here. And you're going to march over to here to sort of face off against the remaining elements of these guys. Well, no, I think you're going to come this way. We're going to let the police and this other brigade over here, once it's done their deal with you. Yeah, everything's moving up to the Caucasus. That's down there. Oh, something big is coming. Well, I don't know if it's big, but something's coming. Well, not being attacked. Good. The 19th Jaeger Division is shattered. Okay. Well, that's just as HMS Solid. Okay, so we took out a submarine. Okay, well, said it. What? Oh, these guys went home. Oh, hell. Well, we killed one of the units, and it looks like the Italians are going to get it now. Oh, hell. Medium popularity because of our defeat, maybe? I don't know. HMS Repulse is lost. Okay, yes, pay them the money. Expand our automotive factories. Fine. Self-propelled. Yes, we want that. Oh, wow. Well, I guess Italy gets the glory of invading and taking out Malta. Soviet Union, yes, you can have some supplies for money. We're still took out the Ajax. We lost a motor torpedo boat, but took out a destroyer escort. Okay, trade, I guess. We now have a veteran navy, so our organization rate for regain rate is 2.5. Naval organization is up to 5%, and officer recruitment up at 15%. Okay, again, some of the stuff that may have fired before is going to fire again because it had to go back to the earlier save, so it hadn't actually fired through this playthrough. Bridging equipment has advanced. Yeah, stop that. And brigade HQs advance, which allows brigade command structure to advance. And so, yeah, that's advanced. So we can come over here, I guess. Again, I think some of this is, I don't know if useless, but it just seems sort of detail for detail's sake. Well, this time, very little damage to our ships. So it was just these guys sort of crapped out on us. Well, you know what we're going to do? Because I'm not trusting the Italians to actually do this. So you get on board. Anything that... we'll see about that one. You're good enough, you get on board. Oh, maybe there's a timeout for naval invasions? Yep, you're in good enough shape. You go back in. Yeah, you're not. You're not really. Okay, so let's put you in and you in now. So go back in. Naval invasion. Worse than the snow is over. Well, okay, but we didn't invade the Soviet Union this year. Not that there isn't snow potentially in other places, but... Okay, you come to here, you come to here. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to here, and I want to get this done. Tank factories, medium aircraft factories, tank factories, okay. Elite commando unit advance. Oh, here, okay. Okay, we'll let you continue, I guess. Warhead and fusing advance. That would be under submarines, and we will stop that for sure. Yes. Back and get this done so I don't have to worry about this while we invade the Soviet Union. Okay, silent running drive. Okay, so max speed is down, but visibility is down considerably, and it's a one and done. HQ divisions have, or division HQ, sorry, I should say that correctly. We're going to let that continue. Expand the airbase, yeah, sure, why not? Well, you're not moving, you should be moving. Why are you... Oh, you're outside of the range of your HQ. It's the one that got sort of messed up there. We should have another. Oh, here they are. Okay, this guy's will fit. All right, will you come down to here, I guess. We're going to see about getting you maybe here to better deal with things. April is the first I think I would want to go into the Soviet Union, but maybe more May. Okay, mixed airborne support is now available to us, so we will probably build a few of those. I think that is a one and done. It's under artillery, I think. Yes. And aero engines advanced. Good. And so we're going to put both of those over to here. Yes, that. Now, I want to build, I don't know, let's build 4 of these to maybe put into some of the airborne type units. And let's move them, well, might as well go to, easiest, just send them to the top. Well, don't let the Italians have the glory for this. Come on. Okay, now we're getting some of our units in there. Now down here, and even the police can take those guys out now. Mud deepens, yeah, that's why we don't want to really do too much with that just yet. Okay, yes, we now have airborne mixed support choices. So let's take a quick look at our airborne units and their makeup. So we could add a 7th Brigade. They have an yeah, they could use improvement. Let's get these guys out of, I think they should have upgraded, but maybe because they're not in Germany, they haven't upgraded. Your landing already does have mixed airborne support, so maybe I didn't need to make that one, but oh well, we'll leave it. Right, okay, so reconnaissance and some of these units here. Air landing infantry, the Flieger division, okay. Right, let's see what my choices are. Let's start, okay. Airborne artillery, motorcycle reconnaissance, airborne engineers. We can have 4. Maybe we have all 4 of these things. Or maybe you don't get all 4. Let's go with, I was hoping for like anti-tank, but oh, choose the second last one. Okay, so we got I guess airborne armor or airborne. We already did the airborne artillery, so we can do airborne engineer. So let's do airborne armor. Finish, yes, I guess that is what we will do. And core HQs. Now what is... Oh, assault weapons, I guess. This technology is still too far ahead. Very good. Which should allow us to do urban fighting, which will be incredibly useful for taking some of those Soviet cities like Stalingrad and Leningrad and Moscow. Okay, well, let's look down here. How are we doing? Get ready to take that out, which will get them. These guys, at least we'll take them out. I don't, yeah, they're not even readily needed for moving around there. Okay, create a commando. Yeah, let's do that. We took out a destroyer. Okay, submarine engine has advanced. Nice. Good. Did we ever get the big farm one? Or have I messed this up too much? Mining, yeah, we did get agricultural activities, but that sort of does that. But having all these resources here, I think, is worth it. National highways and railroad tycoon, yeah, that's all that we can get. We could use some of the other stuff, so yeah. So we don't need to do that. It would be useless. All right, well. Okay, they just, nope, they're still there. I thought they blinked out there for a moment. Amphibious unit training, well, good. I guess we're going to continue that since we are building a few Marines that might end up, yeah, these damn things. And it's not that they're really, you know, punishing me. I just don't like unhistorical stuff showing up in here. Don't we have the Marines in production somewhere? Just one unit, I thought. Yeah, there we are. Would have, of course, been useful for Malta, but, well, July, yeah, maybe for Gibraltar. They might come in for that operation. Let's move this up to 73. Low enough as it is now. Okay, well, here. Okay, you just take that. You come this way. You head this way. You're going to be involved in occupation type duties. Oh, something's going on here. Oh, Battleship King George, Warspite, HMS Cumberland has all shown up for the fun. Trying to break the blockade of Malta, probably. Okay, we lost a destroyer and a landing craft. I hope that won't kill any troops on those units. Italy lost a liner, of course, and they lost destroyer escort to naval action. Right, army HQs. Right, and does that help us with any of these? No. No, okay. Done the way we don't have the Schutzstaffel Brigade. I don't know. Flag. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have it. Maybe we should. I just quite honestly don't know. Oh, there we go. That's a good one to have. Machine gun focus would be too. Self-propelled anti-aircraft unit. Yes, activate that unit. Yeah, we could have more flying boats down here. Well, you know, I know this is taking a while. We got that big unit there. So let's come down here. Let's give one of these guys. We're going to give him an escort and a flying boat. I just put the naval bomber down first because it has a more cool name than just flying boat. So that when the unit is named, and that's all I'm doing with that. Okay. Now, well, let's get a fleet killer, right? Okay. Fleet destroyer. And it's probably quite a ways up there. I'd have started this up closer, would have been easier to find. Don't want to lose units, so okay, there's Kiel. Oh, that's already too far. Okay, clear course C. Oh, come on. Wilhelmshaven is where I think it is, but is it because it's a 4 HQ? It's lower here? Or, yeah, okay, here we go. Clear course C, so it's way down at the bottom. So remember that for the second one. Okay, now let's see if we get an actual person. There we go. Now we're down around here. There we go. Let's see. Let's fly you down to here because you're going to investigate what is munching my units in the Red Sea. And you can, I guess, see about coming down here if we have space in an air base. Yes. I know you're not organized up enough to go, but we do have some big ships there that I want to be potentially able to deal with, hopefully very shortly, once we take them, take Malta. interception tactics, which I think we're going to let continue, but yeah, we're going to let that. Lost about a torpedo boat. Better that than something important. Okay, well, they just lost 3 light cruisers. Yeah, so far we're in good shape. Oh well, those aren't terribly good shape, but hopefully we won't lose any more, because I don't want to lose brigades from here if I can help it. We should enforce conquer there. Okay. Pause. Yes. All right. On. Well, we're going to go with medium defenses. I don't know how they've worked this out now. They may have changed it, they may have not changed it. But actually, for a while, having defenses along the Atlantic Wall was actually counterproductive, meaning it was actually helping the invaders. Because what would happen is they would do a landing force that would land here, but they would give the territory over to the landing force, so that they were now the defenders and the Germans were attackers. So the fortresses were actually, helping the attackers and not the allies and not the Germans. So we will see how this works out if we get that far in this playthrough for 1944 or something. We'll see if that works out. Now, a normal invasion, just a normal deciding, oh, we're going to invade somewhere, like some of these units decide to invade, it would, of course, help the defenders and not the attackers. We sent those subs out here. Have they been doing any good? Yay, look at all those. Some submarines here. These guys here, let's send you now. Let's send you out to here. Convoy rating passive. Let's see what they can catch out there. Right, well, now that we have that, we need to push up into Dubai. We won that there, okay. Get that port. Guess these guys need to come here to either eventually leave or just as garrison troops until we get our tropical island garrisons down here. They're coming over here. Okay, we want to look at any resources. We want to get that oil for ourselves. Not much else in the resources, but we really don't need partisans popping up either. Come on. Let's get this done. Oh, they've sallied forth out with the Ark Royal, the Glorious. Now that's actually a CV, though. This is the old HMS Argus. Is that a? Not sure. Okay. Oh, the Italians, and we lost a destroyer and port. Oh, well, we taken it. Okay, okay. So any transports we lost are not good, but I'm not upset, and they're going home now. It's capital ships I'm really worried about, and I don't think we lost any. Scharnhorst, Eisenhower, Bismarck, Ripitz, Deutschland, Motion, Yep. Yeah, okay. Yep. And these guys all made it ashore, and hopefully all in good shape. So we have taken Malta. And hopefully air power is still pounding them here as any of the British try to get away. Okay, well, we're not going to rebase. We're going to naval strike this whole area because we're going to try to get any of those big ships that are trying to get out. Hopefully they'll get hit by something. On their way out of the Mediterranean. Well, let's put you there. Oh, nobody there. VARs at least. Okay. Looks like they lost. Oh, no, they were, I think, in the Bay of Biscay, and they'd already lost their flying boat contingent. That's already too far. Okay. Well, they might get in a shot or two at something as they leave. Right. This is just more in hopes than any real thoughts on many of this stuff, but might as well. Try to get some. Okay, well, at least those guys will do some naval striking out here, maybe hit some of the British fleeing, but we have taken Malta. Malta is ours. Right, and it is actually, so we can click on a bit of the island and not one of these icons around it. Come on, let me select Malta. Oh, damn. I think it is ours. Yeah, come out like this. No. See if we slowly go towards the island. There we go. There we go. It's under German control, so we got ashore first, I guess. And I mean, no resources or anything, obviously, because it's too small of an island for any of that really to be there. But it's now well defended for ourselves. We will put a garrison unit on it, but that is probably it. So once these guys go home and get a little better organized up, we'll come and pick up our invasion force. So yeah, Malta is ours, finally. Now we'll have to see about with this invasion force and see what we can do with Gibraltar. But sealing up the Mediterranean. This, okay, you know, one Hitler can infinitely mess up shit. I mean, that's very doable. But to me, okay, here's the thing. We can talk about all the U.S. production in the world, and it's very true at the time. Not today, but back then. And we can talk about their extraordinary abilities to build floating harbors. That just Germany did not conceive. They did an Atlantic wall along here, but they were looking like, oh yeah, well they've got to get this little tiny port, and because there's little ports here in Boulogne and whatnot. They got to get these little ports, and they can't even hardly hold ships. So they'll be able to, have a ship off, or a couple, 2 or 3 ships off the, outside of the port, and they'd have little boats coming out, loading supplies, gas, ammo, whatever, taking them ashore. So all these little minor operations to try to do that. And okay, supplying over onto the beachhead. Yeah, for a while that sort of kind of works. Yeah, but you got to secure, something of a port, Cherbourg, Brests, and trying to land out in Brest along here, especially along the north. I know, and I think along here, it's just sheer cliffs. It's like Point de Hoc, the whole thing. You got to get into Brest Harbor to not have those kind of things. I just know this from readings of the Napoleonic Wars, when there were sort of like small boat raids, that there's like little tiny beach, but then there's cliffs behind it, and I mean little tiny beach. You put 200 guys on it, you start getting crowded, and so just a few machine guns and whatnot. It's really not appropriate for major landings a lot out here. Some of these provinces I would probably make sea landing. Maybe before I officially, I'd want to drive and look at it. But yeah, and Point de Hoc is just one small point that's hard to get up. But think of a whole coastline like that. So Germany really thought, okay, you come here and you get you get the Caen harbor. It's going to move, I don't know, let's say 10 tons or 100 tons of cargo a day, but it needs, but they of course sabotage it, plan to sabotage it to do less, but you need 1,000 tons or 10,000 tons or whatever a day to really sort of blitzkrieg into here. Not like have a oh, you want to come and do a Gallipoli landing, or why do I always blank on things, a Dunkirk kind of thing, and have pocket landings. Sure, yeah, and we'll surrounded, because you can only move so much supplies a day through, if you can hold Caen Harbor, if you continue to hold Cherbourg. Cherbourg held out for a while. Brest held out, I think, pretty damn late. I think they were the ones that were very late, but maybe Cherbourg. And so they figure, if they hold the harbors, you can't do a whole lot. Well, the sort of floating harbors that they brought in, the idea that they, also as part of that, ships that they were, old ships that they set up to, make breakwaters. Yeah, Germans just really didn't conceive that anybody was going to be able to do that kind of thing, that the Americans were going to be able to do that. So they just, didn't really conceive it of what could be done here so fast, coming so hard. Right, so that we can talk about all of that. But if, even with that, and there's the controversy of how long it takes, because they don't wake the Fuhrer up. Supposedly, they I think it's mincemeat, or the plan that they had, that had the double agent that said no, that's just a diversion. The real landings are going to come at Calais in a couple of days, or whatever, in 4 days or something like that. So hold off on shifting some of the Panzer divisions. Mentioning that, we now have well, I'll do that off camera. Stop moving some of these divisions there. Okay. And that does have an effect. It truly does. But I don't think even those, even had they, hour one released the Panzer divisions moving towards Normandy, they would have thrown the Allies back. They might have made the push in much harder, much more costly. Yes, right. But still, if you're in a position that you have, I don't know, how do I, second, sort of continental theory, I forget. So never mind, I won't go there right now. But if you have interior lines of communication, and you have a big reserve sitting here, they can land around here, you can move that big reserve and crush the attack areas. Now, of course, we can talk about Allied air power, which hinders that, and other elements, absolutely. But remember, Allied air supremacy over here. Why do they have it? Well, yeah, production and whatnot. They probably would have had it anyway. But part of it is, you remember the day before, June 5th, because I only remember that because it's the day before, Mark Clark enters Rome. That would have been headlines all over the world had it not the headlines even bigger as D-Day the next day, because it takes a little while for the news to filter out, and news from London got out faster than news from here. Not that there's nothing of headlines, but it just the big talk and big remembering is D-Day. Okay, well, Germany had been fighting an air war all through here, trying to protect Ploetzi, mostly from, Allied bombers taking off, I think, from first North Africa, then later from Italy. So they've got lots of air operations here. They got air operations over here, so the Luftwaffe is spread way too thin. Yes, America could probably still dominate the air in some of these regions, but still, it wouldn't have been a biggest domination. So, and there were a lot of forces down here, and of course, a fair number of forces fighting down here, Kesselring's front, that weren't able to be moved up here by train to, deal with the invasion. So, if you have interior lines of communication and you have a good enough reserve and you can get there, at the point of impact, and this is what's very true often in the Soviet Union for Germany, is that the point of impact, Germany has much greater firepower, much greater mobility, just much better communications to move more troops and more tanks to those points of impact. And so they're just able to, rapidly concentrate their forces against either a Soviet push or rapidly and now they're localized. They try, they do the Operation Citadel, Kursk. Let me just say this because I'm talking so much here. They try to do that as a even sort of localized major offensive and fails there. But after Stalingrad campaign, there is no grand offensive in the east. But there's a lot of little offensives, or you could call them counterattacks, but more than just a counterattack. There's a lot of these things going on throughout the whole front line. But, so either, bring together an offensive or bring together a, defensive operation rapidly. Germany is just able to do that in so many cases until their whole system is really starting to collapse. And then they still do it, but rarer. We can talk about, the Battle of Budapest, that sort of mini offensive after the offensive of Ardennes have failed. They do another offensive in the east here, and that actually sort of kind of works for a while. I mean, it doesn't get them victory, but it's sort of a small success kind of thing. So yeah, so the idea that, America, they decide that between the Pacific and the Atlantic, in total, 100 divisions are going to be deployed. And that decision is done not on how much equipment America can produce, not on America's manpower produce, or not on its production of ammunition. It's on its productions of shipping, primarily the Liberty ships. Because they determined that trying to support in operations more than 100 divisions, because they're looking at 100 divisions and supporting them in their offensive capability. Not just, there might be, a division deployed, somewhere, guarding Panama or something that isn't counted in it, that just a division equivalent of troops here, because they do have, fortress guns. They should have some coastal forts here. My mod adds that. So there's, army troops down in some places like that might not be part of the 100 divisions. Now, there's also, with the 100 divisions, there's also not there. Well, there's lots of logistic troops deployed, but there's also other smaller brigades and battalions that are sort of core assets, that are like heavy artillery units that are core assets. But 100 frontline divisions of all the types are deployed because that's all they think they can effectively, reliably supply. I realize they're also sending all that Lend-Lease equipment and food for Britain. Just literal food for Britain is, but so much of that is carried on Liberty ship hulls. Even though, and you see the, war propaganda movies about convoys moving around with ships from all over the world that are allied nations. Yeah, that's partially propaganda, but it's also true. I mean, there's all these different ships that are being used, but there may be Norwegian exiles crewing Liberty ships, but there's only so many Norwegian ships. And Norway had a lot of shipping around the world that joined the Allies, but there's no new Norwegian ships really being made, obviously, because they're been occupied, and Dutch shipping and whatever. Now, again, some of their ships may be sunk, but their crews rescued, and whether they get, there's enough of them to crew a Liberty ship or something, that very well may have happened. I just don't know on that detail. But the idea that it's American-made Liberty ships are supplying food to everywhere, supplying supplies everywhere, are dealing with Britons, moving food from Australia to Britain, and the ships leaving Britain are taking British manufactured weapons and ammo to Australia to supply British calibered guns and British stuff there, so the ships are going back and forth anyways. So Australia produces, sheep, mutton or whatever and other grains, might as well take that back to Britain. And so it's how much shipping with everything that America is doing with shipping. 100 divisions. Okay. How many could they have manned and put out there? And I'm not talking about shipping, but they had well more than 100 divisions. I'm going to guess at about like 120 to 140 divisions, properly organized up. And because, America wasn't sure that D-Day wasn't going to be a complete failure and those divisions are lost. So meaning they need replacement divisions. And it wasn't necessarily, if a division is wrecked, pull out some of the, veterans to sort of get promoted and get into new units, but they'd send a division home theoretically. Now, there are not too many wrecked American divisions, fortunately, but yeah. So America's limited by its shipping. Now, in the Mediterranean, you sort of do have interior lines of communication if you've sealed it off, because shipping is very effective, in some ways more effective than railway. If you have the shipping, you actually have the ships. And so if if the Americans have to land out here and either not disturb Spain or disturb Spain, and now you have another front, which I think it would have done the Allies good, not the way it happened historically in that they get North Africa and they dominate the Mediterranean, both with naval and air power, and are able to take out Italy. But if the Axis has secured the Mediterranean, I actually think bringing Spain into the war would help the ally. We can look at, and now Spain is not the soft underbelly of Europe either. They've got the Pyrenees here, but they have internally several major mountain ranges that I know and reading about with the Peninsula War and the difficulties both for Napoleon's troops and the British fighting in there. But with amphibious invasions capabilities and Portugal at best being ambivalent Axis ally if they were forced into it, and would because Salazar hates Hitler, doesn't hate Franco, and I like Mark Felton. What is it? Presents or Productions or whatever. He's an author, YouTube channel, very good. You should watch them. But on a relatively recent one, he called Franco a fascist. And I just don't know in dealing with somebody like him, because when somebody like him, who is well read and well informed, calls Franco a fascist, and I don't really know who. I mean, I watch his videos. I haven't read Mark Felton's book. I don't know his thoughts. And so he calls Franco a fascist. Well, if you look at Soviet propaganda in the 1980s, they were calling America fascist, especially their internal propaganda. So is Mark Felton a communist? And so, Democratic and Republican presidents of America are just fascists? Everybody who isn't a Bolshevik or a Soviet or whatever is a fascist. All the enemy of the worlds of socialism are fascists. Are you using fascist anybody who's our enemy is fascist? And so then do I distrust what he says because he's lying to me? Or is he so misinformed about Franco? Franco was a dictator. Franco was a nationalist dictator. He had Falangists, which is the Spanish fascist party, in members of his cabinet. The foreign minister. Starts with an S, but it's not Salazar of Portugal, but somebody else, Sousa or something like that, maybe, I think. He is a fascist, a Falangist. I don't really know the details between Spanish Falangist thought and Mussolini's fascist thought, but and they're both self-described fascist parties. Franco was a nationalist. He had fascists in his government, but that would be like saying, well, Churchill was a Labour prime minister. Well, he had Labour members of Parliament or Labour members in his cabinet, and well, for a while, he did go to the Liberal Party because he got exiled. He went to exile internally. I mean, he left the Conservative Party over, I forget what issue it was, but yeah. So he switched parties, and in those days, it was really just a competition between Liberal and Conservative. Not Labour was just growing in those early days. But so Churchill has a Labour member of Parliament or minister minister in his cabinet. I think sort of for labor or whatever, but or manpower or whatever. So does that make him a Laborite? So having a fascist member in your government make you a fascist? You see the parallels there. Franco was a nationalist. Nationalism is can basically be explained as being right-wing pragmatism, where fascism is is a specific ideology. So a nationalist may that's a good idea, and from the fascists, and go, that other idea you have, that's bad. Picking and choosing what they do. So yeah, and what is the Nouveau State, whatever the party for Portugal. Let me see if we can. Intel Portugal. Is that right? The Intel Brazil. The Stato Novo, the new state in Brazil. See here. This is wrong. See, the new state, the Novo State in Brazil was the fascist party. I've been reliably informed in talking to people. I don't know what Acau Industrialist Brasileria is. I don't know what it is. I mean, it may be also a sort of fascist party. I don't know if they really had a National Socialist party that looked like Party Nacional Socialista de Brazil. These look like I don't know what it is, but that party in Brazil was a fascist party of the same name, basically the same name. In Portugal was Salazar's party, and it was a nationalist party. They use the same name, but they're two different they're two different organizations. They both, of course, speak Portuguese, but one is fascist and one is sort of nationalist. Salazar was not, to the best of my knowledge, a fascist. Because a fascist is an ideology. It's one thing to, have a fascist policy or two, because you can look at policies and you look at particularly FDR prior to the outbreak of World War II, and you can look at Rockefeller Center, which still exists, and look around that building, and you'll see massive amounts of fascist symbols because they admired Mussolini and his fascism, and it's all sort of coded into the building's decorations, and they're still there, and they remained. And FDR and a lot of people were really admiring a lot of the fascism of Mussolini, and it really wasn't until his real drift into support of Hitler that got him the bad name with a lot of the progressive Democrats in America. And there, if you look at FDR's programs that he had, there's a lot of fascist elements to it. But does that make FDR a fascist? No. It's just he's going, hey, that Mussolini, he's got some good ideas. But that doesn't mean you are, a fascist ideologue. Right. So, but Salazar hated, and actually, and again, I keep bringing this up, and I have the event about it. He writes a book condemning Hitler. He authors a book and publishes a book. The wild leader of Portugal, against Hitler. He doesn't like Hitler. He gets along very well with Franco because they're both right-wing nationalists, and does okay with Mussolini's fascism. He doesn't really fear that or think that that's terrible or whatever, but he thinks Hitler's anti-Semitism and a lot of the other stuff that Hitler's doing, he just really hates Hitler. So, and he's through the whole period is like, Franco. Now that we have the Civil War won, let's keep the war out of the Iberian Peninsula, And so he's constantly pushing Franco not to go. Not that Franco was wanting to get into the war, but Franco really doesn't want into the war. And when Hitler comes and says, "Yeah, I want you to come into the war," Franco is smart enough, goes, "Yeah, sure, not mein Führer, because he's not his leader, because he's El Claudio. Here, sure, buddy, I'll come into the war. Just fulfill all these requests, all this food delivered, because Spain is having serious food problems. All this equipment, all these resources. Yeah, here's this big laundry list. Once you fulfill that, yeah, we're in with you, buddy." Basically giving him a list that, you fulfill this list that you can't fulfill, then we're in, instead of saying no. Because if he says no, he's worried about being invaded. So he says yes, but gives them conditions, and not that they might be willing to negotiate on a point or two, but basically gives them conditions that Hitler isn't going to fulfill. I truly, from everything I've read, I truly believe it was a list designed to keep Spain out of the war. It was sort of a yes on these conditions. It's like, hey, yeah, let us tour your secret Nazi moon base. We know you have a secret Nazi moon base. No use denying it. Tell you take us up to your moon base. We're in there. Of course, they don't have a Nazi moon base. Find out in a few years. See, all these UFOs are spotting a really Nazi UFOs. No, I mean, that's BS, I know. But, make conditions that just cannot be fulfilled or not likely to be fulfilled, but are still, something, they're not like completely that, they're not completely too much to possibly do. They're just rather difficult and probably not be fulfilled. And you could even then still, watch how the war is going and decide not to join. But so I think it's better for Germany if they could control the Mediterranean to keep Spain out of the war, because Spain is not equipped to resist, even without all of the, just like I talked about earlier, the artificial harbors and all that stuff. But Spain isn't even equipped to resist, the types of invasions that we see in Sicily and, Salerno and, down, Salerno's down here, but Anzio up here. They're not even able to resist these types of invasions and be able to push in and be able to then secure, Cadiz Harbor, or up here, some of these others in Vigo and what's up here? Ferrol. Get some of these harbors, and with all these mountains, they could get in and hold, and the Germans would have to come in and fight. And there might be Spanish nationalists or fascists or whatever guerrillas fighting them, but it would sort of look like what was happening in a way in Italy, and probably once America is, knocking on the doors of Madrid, all but the diehards, the guys that are, and I think Franco would, if he was still around and not kidnapped by the Nazis or something, would himself, because again, Franco is a right-wing nationalist. He wants to help out Spain. He doesn't want to cause Spain problems, and we can go into why the Spanish Civil War breaks out and his fight in it, but it is, in his view, at minimum, we can say, to save Spain from the evils of Bolshevism. So he doesn't want to see Spain destroyed. If it looks like it's a lost cause, he'd do what the the Italian king did, peace out, guys, we're done, even knowing that the Germans are still going to fight within it, but really try to get the war to stop, and stop killing Spanish citizens, even if he isn't going to be in charge afterwards. I think he would have done that, and so it would have just been the hard line guys, fascists, that would have continued to support Hitler. And like I say, Portugal, they would probably, I think it was 4, but let's be charitable. They did an analysis in something like 1942, and they figured that, our army could fight for like 6 days. And then our army can't fight anymore, because at the rate of ammunition usage for, rifles, machine guns, artillery pieces, we have like, at full vigorous use, we have like 6 days of use of ammo, something like that. It was less than like 10 days, I know that. And then we're done. Yeah. Now, I don't know quite what they did with that information afterwards. Probably mostly thought, let's not go into war. Portugal, which is also very, very friendly to Britain, is mostly going to do a token, sort of like we saw, for the Vichy French down here, sort of, even if they're forced into the Axis somehow, because Spain's in and Germany's winning, they might go in. But as soon as, enough Americans and British show up, hi, brothers, the enemy are over there. We'll help guard your supplies as you move them to the front. That's, so this would give a whole nother front, another area that, Germany would have to even if it's not invaded up here, would have to maintain garrisons and the ability to keep from being invaded here. And since there's very little rail contact here, you start to lose your interior lines of supply in many ways. So this is a whole nother front. So not just, so keeping Spain neutral is good. But so if you can keep Spain neutral, then if you're doing, Casablanca type landings out here, Germany has its interior lines of supply and it can fight there. And America can only supply so many divisions across this desert if Germany wrecks whatever railroads that are here. And I think most of the railroads went through Spain, not through here, but which I'm not sure on all that. They could wreck that, and so they either got to take Gibraltar and then cow the Spanish into not doing much to be able to even access the Mediterranean. Or if they've secured all this kind of stuff, they've got to be landing in here. And this, can be real tough fights, and which would free up enough to, defeat Russia. And if you defeat Russia or Soviets or whatever, then, if the Soviets are defeated, without nukes, I don't think, and these other conditions, controlling the Mediterranean, I don't think Germany can be defeated. As in, American or British divisions marching into Berlin. I don't think so. Without nukes, if they can control the Mediterranean, with the Soviet Union defeated. And even needing some, there'd be a rump state, because Hitler does not want to occupy way out here. He wants something to be formed, whether it's a rump Soviet Union, a new Tsarist Russia, or a new a fascist Soviet Union, or whatever. Break it up and let some of these other territories go, like sort of modern day or whatever it is. Just sort of have that to happen there. Be able to hold down from British invasion here. Yeah, if they can hold that without that, I think Germany is not defeatable. If those conditions, without nukes. Get nukes in, and not just a couple. Get nukes in, that becomes a problem. Now, if America can, push, even after securing the Mediterranean, if America could push up here and, break out into the Mediterranean, and if they can break out and then get to control places like Oran and Algiers, like they did historically, then yes, and secure North Africa, and even without, Germany just having to occupy here, because you could knock out Norway by landing here and taking that out, and America's air and sea power keeping Germany sort of bottled up. Yeah, then you get back to, now that's immensely harder than what was historically without the Soviet Union, because you can do limited offensives, and it would be possible, but immensely hard. But if the Axis can actually control the Mediterranean and knock the Soviet Union out of the war effectively, I think it becomes impossible to take out Germany. I think so. Well, on that note, I want to thank you all for coming and hanging out with me. Please post any comments below. Tell me why I'm wrong. Again, I'm saying without nukes or something. But otherwise, tell me why I'm wrong. Post below. See you next time for even more, more Hearts of Iron.